Hey everyone, Marcia here. I am back today with another scrapbook process video from My Creative Scrapbook. Today I'm using the December main kit, and this gorgeous kit features the Vicki Boutin Wrapped in Ribbons collection. It also has some Echo Park stickers and some Simple Stories foam stickers for titles. And this wonderful cut file, this floral wreath cut file, was actually included in November's subscription, and it is from the Cut Shop. I wanted to use the wreath as a base for building my own wreath using a bunch of the floral die cuts from the Vicki Boutin Wrapped in Ribbons collection. So there were 2 packs of die-cut ephemera that were included in the kit. There were the floral bits and pieces from that collection, as well as the icon images. Lots and lots of options for embellishing with this kit. It's amazing. I wanted to add a little more interest to my background. I was using a My Favorite Things stencil, which has some dots going in a graduation from a lot of dots to very few dots. And so I used that so that I had more dots in the middle and then fewer as you go out of the center of the layout. I'm using some pops of color from scrapbook.com. This is very much like Stickles, kind of a glitter gel. It's very appropriate for Christmas. There's also a big scraper I used from scrapbook.com that works really well for leveling out the gel over the top of the stencil. I did the background in stages, so I had 4 grids there since it was a 6x6 stencil. And I let it dry after doing the 2 sides, and then I went back when it was dry and did the other 2. Now that it's dry, I glued that wreath cut file onto the background, and I'm just going to build my wreath up from that. My thought was a lot of this cut file, the leaves and stuff, would still stick out and be visible, but I added so many layers on here that it is not all that visible unless you're really looking for it. My goal here was to even out clusters of things. So I had the white poinsettias, and so when I separated the die-cut ephemera into common things, I have the white poinsettias and the red poinsettias. And I wanted to arrange those on my wreath with some foam tape so I could even add stuff underneath it still. There were vellum bits and pieces in there and some acetate bits and pieces in there. So there's a lot of variety. And once I had the poinsettias arranged, I have these clusters of red. There's really 2 big clusters of red, but my goal was to use a red bow that is also in the ephemera, and using the red bow would create a 3rd red cluster to draw your eye. I'm just evenly distributing the same like ephemera, so the poinsettias are evenly distributed, the white poinsettias. I'll have my 3 red clusters, and the white poinsettias are evenly distributed around the wreath, and the holly leaves are evenly distributed around the leaf. And then I'm going in and adding a little bit more greenery with the acetate and the vellum leaves. I was a little worried about my adhesive showing, so I just applied glue to the base stem for the acetate and those vellum ephemera pieces. I did not apply glue over all of that. And the base of the stem is usually tucked underneath another flower or another leaf, I was able to hide the glue from showing. 2, I want to look at color, and if I have dark green or gold on one side of the wreath, I want to kind of even it out on the other side of the wreath and not have all the light green elements on one side and the dark green elements on one side. The bow was adhered to the top of the wreath using some foam tape to give it some added dimension. To add even more dimension to my wreath, I really wanted to put some 3-dimensional berries on here. So I took a small hole punch I had and punched 4 circles out of the red pattern paper. I punched enough circles so that I could create 5 berries for my wreath. Once you've punched the circles, they were about 3/4 of an inch probably in diameter. And then I scored a line down the middle of each circle and folded them in half. Then I take the folded pieces and I'm gluing the wrong side of one half of the circle to another wrong side of the half of the circle. And then I have a flat part in the back that I can use to adhere down to my layout. And I have enough dimension built up that it looks like I have a sphere that I have on my wreath. So these look like really yummy holly berries, and they're really pretty. Before I adhere those berries down, I want to get my photo on here. This is a photo of my husband and myself that I took a couple years ago, and we were surprisingly photobombed by our black cat, Spook. It's hard to see him there on this black and white photo, but he's squeezed between the two of us. One of the reasons I chose this photo to scrapbook is a die-cut ephemera piece of a kitten inside a gift box. Now there's also a puppy in a gift box, and I think there's a bunny rabbit in the gift box too. And they're just adorable. And I thought, you know what? This is the perfect embellishment for this photo, and I just had to use it. Now that I have my photo on here, I selected the Let's Be Merry foam phrase sticker from the Hearth and Holiday Simple Stories sticker sheet. And I'm using that for my title underneath my photo. I'm arranging my berries in 3 places. So in the lower left, one by my photo and another one up by the bow. And then I want to go back and add some pops of color inside my poinsettias and a little bit outside of the wreath. My Creative Scrapbook puts together 4 kits every month. Again, I'm using the main kit. They also have a limited edition kit, a creative kit, and an album kit. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye-bye now.